Imagine if all of us were the same. We all learned the same way, communicated the same way, thought the same way. Sounds a bit boring. The truth is, that's not how we work, and that's a good thing. This is neurodiversity. You might have heard terms like autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and dyspraxia. These are all examples of neurodivergence, brain differences that shape how people think, move, learn, and experience the world. For a long time, these differences were seen as problems, something to fix because they didn't fit what people saw as neurotypical. But what if they're just differences? That's the idea behind neurodiversity. The belief that brain variations, whether neurodivergent or neurotypical, are a natural part of being human, just like eye colour or height. The idea of neurodiversity might seem modern, but it actually started in the 1990s. Researchers and advocates began challenging the idea that conditions like autism and ADHD were just medical disorders. Instead, they suggested something radical. What if these differences aren't deficits, but just another way of being who we are? Especially when these differences provided some with unique strengths and qualities. Sociologist Judy Singer was among the first to use the word neurodiversity. She argued that just like how biodiversity makes ecosystems stronger, neurodiversity makes society richer.
For us, it is shifting away from a medical model which is heavily reliant on disorders and deficits, whereas it brings that human brain and the mind have got a natural variation in how people think, behave, and act in various situations. So for us, the challenge is understanding the differences in the way people think and behave as a natural variation and may not necessarily indicate a deficit or a disorder.
So what can neurodiversity actually look like? For some, it means thinking in pictures instead of words. For others, it's having a brain wired for deep focus, hyper-creativity, or spotting patterns others might miss. It can also mean needing structure, struggling with change, or feeling overwhelmed by loud noises. Sometimes small adjustments or a trusted person to lean on are all that's needed to help someone adapt. Other times, people might need ongoing support or specialist care from health, education, or social care services. The good news is, society is talking more about neurodiversity. Understanding neurodiversity isn't just about awareness, it's about action. That means making classrooms that support different learning styles, workplaces that allow flexibility, and communities where people can thrive in their own way.
We have to empower communities by building resilience. One of the biggest areas of work is that shared understanding of child development, shared understanding of needs, and making sure that everybody sees the child through similar lenses, but very much building on what the child is good at and not just focusing on the deficits or the difficulties.
Neurodivergence isn't something that needs fixing. It's something that needs understanding. That's something we're all capable of doing. And when we do understand, we can create a world where all minds thrive.
The world would be a very sad place if everybody thought and behaved the same way in every situation. There would have not been any room for creativity, innovation, and out-of-the-box thinking. By embracing neurodiversity, we have got the real opportunity to bring those values and strengths through creative and innovative approaches and encouraging and supporting people who think, behave, or communicate differently.